Good day, sir. My name is Jen Shermano from Section Echo, and this video is all about my topic, which is the Presidential Decree number 1067 and Presidential Decree number 1151. So, in 1976, Presidential Decree number 1067, otherwise known as the Water Code of the Philippines, was enacted. So in Article 3, the underlying principles of this code are the following. So A, all waters belong to the state. B, all waters that belong to the state cannot be the subject to acquisitive prescription. C, the state may allow the use or development of waters by administrative concession. D, the utilization, exploitation, development, conservation, and protection of water resources shall be subject to the control and regulation of the government through the National Water Resources Council, hereinafter referred to as the Council. Preference in the use and development of waters shall consider current usages and are responsive to save changes needs to the country. In Article 10, water may be appropriated for the following purposes. So, this Article 10 is the important uses of water. So first is use of water for the domestic purposes is the utilization of water for drinking, washing, bathing, cooking, or other household needs, home gardens, and watering of lawns or domestic animals. Next, use of water for municipal purposes is the utilization of water for supply the water requirements of the community. Next, use of water for irrigation is the utilization of water for producing agricultural crops. Next, use of water for power generation is the utilization of water for producing electrical or mechanical power. Next, use of water for fisheries is the utilization of water for the propagation and culture of fish as a commercial enterprise. Use of water for livestock, rising in the utilization of water for large herds or flocks of animals raised as a commercial enterprise. Use of water for industrial purposes is the utilization of water in factories, industrial plants, and mines, including the use of water as an ingredient of a finished product. So the last one, use of for recreational purposes is the utilization of water for swimming pools, bath houses, boating, water skiing, golf courses, and other similar facilities in resorts and other places of recreation. So that's the Article 10, which is the purposes of water. So the next article is Article 15, which is only citizens of the Philippines of legal age as well as juridical persons who are duly qualified by law to exploit and develop water resources may apply for water permits. So, juridical persons, also known as juridical entity, is a non-human legal entity. It means It's an organization that is not a natural person. By law, a juridical entity has its own duties and rights. It's recognized as a legal person as a designation that is different from a natural person. So, who may apply to have the water permit? So, only citizens of the Philippines, as well as judicial persons who are qualified by law to exploit resources may apply for a water permit. And Section 82, Violation of Non-Permittees. In cases where the violators is not a permittee or grantee or has no right to use the water whatsoever, the council through its deputies or authorized representative shall cause the stoppage of the use of water either by plugging or sealing of the well of the same involves groundwater, appropriation or demolition of the dam or hydraulic structure if the same involves surface water without prejudice to the institution of a criminal or civil action as the facts and circumstances may warrant. Next, Article 91. A fine of cannot exceeding 3,000 pesos or imprisonment for not more than 3 years or both such fine and imprisonment in the discretion of the court shall be imposed upon any person who commits any of the following acts. So first, appropriation of water without a water permit, unless such is expressly exempted from securing a permit by the provision of this code. So, number 2, unauthorized obstruction of an irrigation canal. 3, cultivation of a riverbed, sandbar, or tidal flat without permission. So, malicious destruction of hydraulic works or structure valued at not exceeding 25,000 pesos. So next topic is all about Presidential Decree number 1151 or Philippine Environmental Policy. So environmental policy is aimed at balancing environmental protection and the observation of natural resources with other policy goals such as affordable energy as well as economic growth and employment. So the purpose of this is to protect the right of the people to a healthy environment through a requirement of environmental impact assessment and statements. So Section 1 in this PD 1151 policy, it is hereby declared a continuing policy of the state, A, to create, develop, maintain, and improve conditions under which man and nature can thrive in productive and enjoyable harmony with each other. B, to fulfill the social, economic, and other requirements of present and future generations of Filipinos. And C, to ensure the attainment of an environmental quality that is conducive to a life of dignity and well-being. So, Section 2, Goal. In pursuing this policy, it shall be responsibility of the government in cooperation with concerned private organizations and entities to use all practicable means consistent with other essential consideration of national policy in promotion of general welfare to the end that the national may A. Recognize, discharge, and other fulfill the responsibilities of each generation as trustee and guardian of the environment for succeeding generation. B. Assure the people of a safe, decent, healthful, productive, and aesthetic environment. C. Encourage the widest exploitation of the environment without degrading it or endangering human life, health, and safety, or creating conditions adverse to agriculture, commerce, and industry. D. Preserve important historic and cultural aspects of the Philippine heritage, attain a rational and orderly balance between population and resource use, and improve the utilization of our renewable and non-renewable resources. So section 3, right to a healthy environment. In furtherance of these goals and policies, the government recognizes the right of the people to a healthful environment. It shall be the duty and responsibility of each individual to contribute to the provision and enhancement of the Philippine environment. So each of us is responsible of our surroundings and especially to our environment. And section 5, agency guidelines. The different agencies charged with environmental protection and as enumerated in letter of instruction number 422 shall within 60 days from effectively of this decree submit to the National Environmental Protection Council or NEPC their respective guidelines, rules, and regulations to carry out the provisions of Section 4 hereof on environmental impact assessment and statements. So pursuant to the above enunciated policies and goals, all agencies and instrumentalities of the national government, including all government-owned and controlled corporations, as well as private corporations and firms and entities, shall prepare, file, and include in every action, project, or undertaking which significantly affects the quality of the environment, a detailed statement on. First, the environmental impact of the proposed action, project, or undertaking. Any adverse environmental effect which cannot be avoided shall be the proposal be implemented. Alternative to the proposed action and a determination that the short-term use of the resources of the environment are consistent with the maintenance and enhancement of the long-term productivity of the same, and whenever a proposal involves the use of depletable or non-renewable resources, a finding must be made that such use and commitment are warranted. So, as I said in a while, it shall be the duty and responsibility of each individual to contribute to the preservation and enhancement of the Philippine environment. So, that's all my report, sir. Thank you.